Yo, what's good, HBAR millionaires? You need to drop everything you're doing and listen up. Seriously, right now on the charts, a major HBAR sell signal just fired. I'm talking literally minutes before I hit record on this video. This isn't just a minor blip, it's a head for the hills kind of alert that's telling the average investor to bail out. So what does this mean for us? Should you hit that panic button? Should you buy? Should you hodl? That's what we're breaking down right now. If you're holding any HBAR, do me a solid, smash that like button and let's get into it. This sell signal is a big deal because as we saw in the past, it's not always what it seems. Remember back in October, just before President Trump's election, we saw the same thing. People were bailing on their HBAR at 4 or 5 cents because the sell signal was on and they were spooked. They knew the election was a major catalyst, but they sold anyway. And then, boom, the buy signal lit up and we saw a massive, almost 10x run because of that single catalyst. Well, guess what? The same setup is playing out again. This sell signal is a smokescreen for what's about to happen. We're on the verge of the next massive catalyst, and if you listen to the herd and sell now, you're going to miss out on what could be the biggest move of the year. So what is this massive catalyst? The Federal Reserve is about to meet, and there's a 95% chance they're going to lower interest rates. The last time this happened, right before we saw HBR do that massive pump. Get ready, because it's about to happen again. Hey, before we go any further, if you're not already on the team, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss a single one of these updates. This kind of information is what separates the winners from the rest of the pack. Let's get it. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The next Federal Reserve meeting is happening in just a few days. The consensus, based on all the data and the current economic landscape, is a near certainty. They're going to lower interest rates. This is not just a little change, it's a seismic shift in the global financial markets. And for HBAR, it is an absolute game changer. Why? Because when the Fed lowers rates, it signals a move from a tight, restrictive monetary policy to a looser, more expansionary one. Money becomes cheaper to borrow, which encourages investment. And where do you think that capital is going to flow? Not into low-yield savings accounts. It's going to flood into risk-on assets. And you already know that crypto, specifically a high-utility enterprise-grade project like HBAR, is going to be at the top of that list. Think about the last time this happened. Just before we saw HBAR's last big run, the Fed was in a similar position. They lowered rates to stimulate the economy, and the market reacted exactly as you would expect. Crypto took off. HBAR, with its solid fundamentals and enterprise backing, wasn't just along for the ride, it led the charge. We saw that massive price appreciation, and people who were smart enough to see the catalyst coming made out like bandits. This isn't a theory, it's a repeatable pattern. It happened before, and with a 95% probability of a rate cut, it's about to happen again. And get this, it won't be just a single rate cut. The next meeting is on September 17th, and then another on October 29th, with a 53% chance of another cut. We're talking about a series of bullish catalysts, not just one. This is a sustained tailwind for the entire crypto market, and it's going to propel HBAR to levels we haven't seen in years. Now, some of you might be looking at the current price and thinking, wait, HBAR hasn't hit its all-time high in price yet. And you'd be right. But here's the thing you have to understand. Price and market cap are two completely different things. HBAR's market cap is already at all-time highs. Let that sink in. The ecosystem, the total value of the Hedera network, has already surpassed its previous peaks, even though the price per token hasn't. Why? Because the Hedera Foundation has been busy selling a massive amount of HBAR to fund ecosystem development, grants, and enterprise adoption. They've been building the foundation for the future. And that leads me to my next point. This massive sell-off by the foundation isn't a bad thing. It's a necessary step to bring about the next major catalyst, a supply shock. We're talking about 42 billion HBAR already in circulation out of a max supply of 50 billion. Back in 2021, we only had about 20 billion in circulation. The supply has more than doubled to support the growth of the network, but that period of token sales is ending. Soon, the Hedera Foundation won't have any more HBAR to sell. When that happens and all this on-chain utility and institutional money starts pouring in, the buying pressure is going to slam into a wall of scarcity. It's simple economics. High demand plus low supply equals a massive price explosion. We're going to look back at these prices and wonder how we ever had the chance to buy HBAR at these levels. This isn't just about a potential rate cut. It's about a confluence of catalysts all lining up for a perfect storm. The Federal Reserve is the first domino to fall, and once it does, the supply shock will be the one that sends this thing to the moon. And let's talk about the next piece of this puzzle, the enterprise adoption. You hear about it all the time with Hedera, but do you really understand what it means? This isn't just some vague partnership. These are some of the biggest, most influential companies in the world running the network. They're on the governing council, and they are not just there for show. They're building on the network right now as we speak. You've got Google using Hedera for their Google Cloud services. IBM is leveraging Hedera for supply chain solutions. Dell is working on things you can't even imagine. T-Mobile is exploring how to use it for identity and payments. This isn't about speculation. It's about real-world utility at a scale that no other crypto project can claim. And that brings me to my next point. Think about the network effect. It's why companies like Google and Meta are so dominant. The more people who use a network, the more valuable it becomes for everyone. Well, Hedera has about 9 million mainnet accounts. Now, even if we assume a few people have multiple accounts, that's still only about 2 to 3 million unique people max in the entire world who actually own HBAR. That's being generous. My real guess? It's probably closer to 1 million people. 1 million? Compare that to a project like Ethereum, which has tens of millions of users, or even Bitcoin, which is a global phenomenon. We are still in the infancy stage. We are the pioneers. When you ask yourself how many people in your own family or friend circle actually own HBAR, the answer is probably none. That just shows you how early we are to this game. If you're still here and this is making you feel more confident about your investment, hit that thumbs up button. It's a small thing, but it helps a ton, and it shows me we're on the same page. We're still in the sense phase. We're still in the early adopter phase. But what happens when this thing goes mainstream? When a massive company like Dell or Google launches a public application on Hedera that brings in millions of new users? What happens when a government or a central bank uses Hedera for a CBDC or a digital identity project? That's when the network effect goes parabolic. That's when we go from a few million users to hundreds of millions of users. And when that happens, the price of HBAR won't be measured in cents. It will be measured in dollars, tens of dollars, even hundreds of dollars. Think about it this way. What if HBAR had Ethereum's current market cap? Is that even possible? Yes, and it's not even a stretch. Hedera has a superior technology. The Hashgraph consensus is faster, more secure, and more energy efficient. It's enterprise grade from the ground up. If HBAR reaches Ethereum's current market cap, which is a very real possibility in the next few years, each HBAR token would be worth $12.00. That's a 50x from today's prices. And that's a conservative estimate. We could easily do that and then some. This is what you're investing in, a project with world-class technology, enterprise-level adoption, and a network effect that's just waiting to explode. We are not gambling. We are making a calculated long-term bet on the future of distributed ledger technology. So when you see that sell signal, you don't panic. You see it for what it is, a fleeting opportunity to accumulate more before the real pump begins. Okay, so we've established that the sell signal is a red herring. The Federal Reserve is a massive catalyst, and the enterprise adoption is a long-term network effect waiting to explode. So what's the play? The play is simple. Do not sell. This is not the time to be timid. This is the time to be smart and strategic. This is the time to buy. Right now is a golden opportunity to accumulate as much HBAR as you possibly can. If you're serious about this game and want to stay on top of these plays, make sure you're subscribed. We're building a community of strategic investors here, not short-term speculators. Join the HBAR army. This is not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing. I'm hodling and I'm accumulating. I'm dollar cost averaging every chance I get. Why? Because I know this is a long-term game. There will be dips. There will be volatility. They'll try to get you to sell. They'll try to shake you out, but you have to stay strong. You have to remember the long-term vision. The price of HBAR right now, today, is irrelevant. In a few years, we will look back at these prices and laugh. We will be talking about HBAR at 20 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, like it was nothing. Think about the long game. HBAR is not going anywhere. This is a project that is built to last for decades. We're talking 2, 5, 10, 20, even 50 years from now. This technology will revolutionize how the world transacts, how data is stored, and how businesses operate. It's not a joke. It's not a meme. It's a fundamental technological shift, and it's backed by the biggest companies in the world. Google, IBM, LG, Dell, T-Mobile, Boeing. These aren't small players. They're literally shaping the future, and they chose HBAR to do it. If you're feeling bullish right now and you're ready to hodl with me, give this video a thumbs up. Let's show the world that the HBAR army is strong and we're in this for the long haul. So my final message to you, the HBAR family, the HBAR army, is this: do not sell. Right now is the time to buy, to accumulate as much as possible, and to be patient. We are literally just getting started. The price will have its ups and downs, but the long-term trajectory is undeniable. We are in a position to be a part of one of the top cryptocurrencies in the entire world. A cryptocurrency that will revolutionize the world. Join us, subscribe, show your support. We're in this together. I love you all, and I'll see you very soon.